Okay, so this is going to help us if we know big side, little side, angle. We can find some unknown sides in there. So let's say, okay, this looks like the little side, so we'll call this one the little side. So if I knew that side, and I knew that side, and I knew this angle here, let's say I know that angle is 65 degrees, let's say. Then I can use that to find other sides of the triangle. Let's call this A, B, C. The first thing that law of sines would help you find actually is the measure of angle C. I know that the sine of 65 over 7 equals the sine of, because here I have something to be opposite to. Here this A and this A, I don't have either one of those yet, so C is the first one I can sort of attack. Sine of C over 4. Cross multiplying, I get, actually I'm just multiply both sides by 4. Let's do that, because now I have this whole thing equals the sine of C. So the sine of C is equal to, okay, I need my calculator. It's actually approximately equal to about 0.518. So using the inverse sine, that tells me the measure of angle C is, okay, that's about 31.2 degrees. Okay. So now I know this. Great. Okay, so then at this point I would probably use law of cosines to find A or A and go from there, because right now I don't have anything here that's going to be helpful for finding. I mean, really, this would be equal to sine A over A. Well, thank you very much. I don't know either one of those things. There's nothing in here that's going to help me find either one, so that's not helpful. But then I thought, hey, wait a minute. I do know one of those things. Which one of those do I know? I actually can find A. Think about that for a second. If I have a 65 and a 31.2, I know the three angles have to add to 180, so I can actually figure that out. This angle turns out to be, if I take 65 plus 31.2 plus A equals 180 in a triangle. I know that A then is going to have to be 83.8. Great. So I can figure that out. Let's do that. Sine of 83.8. Sine of 83.8 over A equals this thing I had before. Equals the sine of 65 over 7. Cross multiplying, 7 sine 83.8 equals A times the sine of 65. So I'm just going to divide that on both sides right now. Come on, pen. There we go. I'm trying to figure out all the tricks here. Alright, and then calculator time is about 7.68. Okay. Great. But let's say we didn't know that this side was actually smaller. Let's just say we just have a side and an angle. And remember, this isn't enough to tell us if two triangles, that the triangle is unique, that there's only one triangle that has these measurements. For example, if I had a triangle here that had a measurement of, I don't know, 40 degrees, and I need, okay, we're talking about side angle, so I need this side and this side, but this side was actually smaller. Let's say this was 8 and this was 12.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, someone else is using the PA system in the school today. I don't know if everybody heard that. Okay, there's a triangle that has an 8 and a 12 next to a 40 degrees. It looks like that. And if you think about it, I could extend this line, and that 8 could also sort of fall this way. And there's another triangle that has an 8 next to, call it C prime. There's a triangle ABC that has the 8 and the 12 and the 40, and there's a triangle ABC prime that has an 8 and a 12 and a 40. And that's actually possible. And that, they taught you that back in geometry. So if I wanted to try to find these things, I know they all have to be true in the law of sines, but I could get two different answers possibly for B and C. Angle A has to be 40 degrees, and I know angle B plus angle C has to add up to 140 to make a triangle. But B and C could be, you know, in this sort of arrangement, or they could be in this sort of arrangement. I could have a bigger angle B here, and I could have a smaller angle for C. And you notice when I do that here with the angle C, it's going to have to turn out that one of these angle C's is obtuse and one of them is acute. So let's try to do this. We're going to see we have sine of 40 over 8 is supposed to equal the sine of C, no matter which wacky triangle we're talking about. And I really don't know if this is C or C prime really yet. Sine of C over 12. Well, there's another announcement. Okay, so now I'm getting pretty good at using the pause function on here. Multiply both sides by 12, and I will find out the sine of C really soon. The sine of C is, according to my calculator, oh, if this pen would just work. Oh, that looks nice. Sine of C is about 0.96. Well, you remember from the unit circle days, there are actually two angles that have a sine. Now, 0.96 is way up here. But there's going to be an angle this way that has a sine of 0.96, and there's going to be an angle this way that has a sine of 0.96. And guess what? Those are my two different values for my angle C. If I put it in the calculator and do an inverse there, I get, inverse sine of that answer, I get 74.6. The original answer on my calculator for inverse sine of 0.96, and I left it in the calculator. I didn't round it off here. I left it in the calculator, and leaving it in the calculator, I get 74.6 degrees. So that would be the acute one over here. To figure out the other one, I'll just say, well, the answers here are going to be, oh, there's music on the PA. I'm just going to keep going because I'm almost done. The supplement to that angle, which is 180 minus. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Okay. And that's actually, oh, it stopped. Okay. That's actually 105.38. So these are the two possibilities for the measure of angle C. So then once I knew that, if, you know, the angle C is either here would be the 105, here would be the 74. That would tell me what this angle B could be, and I would figure that out by the 180 with the triangle here. So B is either in a triangle with a 40 and a 74.6, or it's in a triangle with a 40 and a 105.8. So measure of angle B is either 34.6 if C is the bigger angle, or if C is the smaller angle, then of course B would have to be bigger to make up for it. It would be about 65.4 degrees. Those are the two things that make 180 with, I should write this down here, 40 plus 105 plus 34.6 is 180. That's how I got that. And that's also, 180 is also 40 plus 74.6 plus this answer, 65.4. And that's what law of sines is good for, everybody.